Glenpool, welcome to our first edition of Conversations with the City. This is a brand new video series that we're going to start this month to talk with business owners, organization owners, or managers, just those different groups in the community that we think you would be interested in hearing from. And so today we want to start with our Glenpool Public Schools. One of the biggest pieces here, one of the places that most people in this community touch in some form or fashion. And so we're talking with Curtis Layton today, our new superintendent at Glenpool Public Schools. So we'll get started here. And Curtis, welcome.
Thank you.
You can make it.
Glad to be here.
Our inaugural event here today. So we're excited to get this video series going and glad you joined us. You've been with the school just roughly a year now for us.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you, how you came to be here the superintendent with Glenpool.
Well, I've been in education for 30 years and was a classroom teacher, coach for 20 of them. Spent the last 10 years at administration. Last couple of years, I've kind of looked for a superintendency, and I guess I've reached the age to where I'm not just going to go. I'm going to go do a good job, and I wanted to go to a place that philosophy matched mine. And about the first time my first interview here, I knew this was the place I wanted to be.
We've had a chance to visit on a couple of occasions since you've been here. I know I've heard just amazing things so far about the work you've done and the work there at the school and what's going on. So we're excited to see what's going on. And so tell me a little bit, now that you've been here, you've had a little bit of time to get some things under the belt, to kind of get comfortable, so to speak, at the school system. What's the favorite part of your job?
The favorite part of my job is really taking care of the kind of the behind the scene things so the teachers can do their jobs. I think we all know that the biggest impact on kids' education is the teachers and the classroom teacher. And so I really enjoy seeing the end result of that and knowing that, there's things in the background that a lot of people don't know that's happening with governing a school and hiring.
Right.
That stuff. And so I like sitting back at this time of year saying, we got the school year going and get excited for the year. And then at the end of the year, seeing the results, seeing how much the kids grow, watching the community come together, watch the school family come together. And so that gives me the greatest joy,
right,
of just seeing that all that happen together.
Right. Yeah. I certainly understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a behind the scenes type of guy here as well. We enjoy that process of not always being out front, but making sure that those that are doing their jobs have the tools they need to go do them and do them well. Right. So back to school season. We just started school here within the last week or so as we film this. And so what do you want parents and students to know as they're kind of getting started back into this school year?
Yeah, we were so excited after our Meet the Parent Night. It was unbelievable. We expected a lot of parents to be there, and we underestimated the number of people that would come at all of our sites. Pre-K up. And so one of the things that I want to make sure that we communicate to parents and that is to get back on track with attendance. In the last 2 years, all schools have seen an increase in chronic absenteeism, students missing more than 10, 18, 20 days a school year. And there's too much research out there that just backs the fact that, those can lead to poor outcomes for kids if they're not in school. And, we can send homework home, we can do it on Google Classroom, we can do it virtually, but it's not the same. And they're not getting the same quality. And so we're really emphasizing this year that attendance piece and really doing what we can do as a district and asking for parents' help to get our kids, back in school and get our attendance back to where it was. And, the circumstances were they just were. I mean, we all had to face circumstances, but now that we're kind of hopefully moving into some normalcy, we want to really reemphasize that let's get kids in school, let's get that high level instruction, and let's get them interacting with each other.
That's great. I'd be excited to see that. As part of our conversations in the past, and I've heard you mention this in other places, and you talk about the non-negotiables that you have with your staff and that the school system has with its students and what your expectations are there. One of those, though, is to maintain a safe school at all times. Can you tell me a little bit about what that means to you and to the school?
Sure. It means that we're going to provide the safest possible environment we can for our students, our teachers, all of our staff. We're realistic to know that we're never going to be able to create a true lockdown facility, but we prioritize that over everything else. We know that if parents and kids don't feel safe, learning's not going to happen. We've taken a lot of steps over the summer to make sure that that our exits are all secure. We've taken we've collaborated with the police, and we sat down with them for a couple 3 hours this summer, and it was really one of the most informative things we did all summer, because we learned how they would react and what they would do how they would react in the unfortunate situation of a active shooter or something that tragic on campus. And they were able to provide us with some very usable and very realistic ways to help communicate with them, and so that they could do their job more effectively. And so that collaboration piece really, I think, is going to create even a more safe environment than we have. We have the single entrances at all of our facilities. We require all our employees to wear their badges, and that way if someone's without a badge or something, somebody can point that out. And so it's just at the top of our list, and we spent a lot the first 3 days before kids came back talking to our faculty about that and just reemphasizing that. Another important aspect that we've been using for quite a while is, you've probably heard about the RAVE app. Mm-hmm. It was signed, I think the governor signed an emergency order this summer requiring that. Glenpool Schools has been working with it for 6 or 7 years, I believe, and it's in essence it's an app on a phone that a teacher could use, indicate that there's an emergency situation, and it immediately notifies administration, police, and it geolocates where that is, so the police are already en route before a phone call is even made. So it's a very efficient way, and it works very well. We've the first couple of days of school, we ran drills, and police can see our communication, I can see our communication, and so it's just a very effective and quick way for us to get the right people on scene in case of any emergency. Right.
I know in talking with our police department, and especially our school resource officers that are working there at the schools, they're excited to be a part of this and be able to work with you and with the other administration and leaders there in the school to make sure that they're doing what you want as far as making sure that there's a safety place, but also as you mentioned, understanding how we're going to react to that if our department has to come out, and what that looks like, and how do we best work together to provide that safe environment.
And our school resource officers are they are a very important piece of that safety. We were able to return to 2 SROs this year, and we're very thankful for that. And all of our SROs went around to all of our our administrative meetings we do to introduce themselves. And their importance, I can't stress enough, because they are police on campus, but more importantly, they're a relationship to a kid on campus. And the more relationships we have, the more likely we are to be informed of a situation, and the less likely we are to have someone who feels that isolated that they'd have to respond that way. So I can't say enough about our SROs and that relationship we have with the city.
Good. And we're excited to be able to help do that and do our part for that process as well as the city. And it's an important role, and so we're glad to be there. We know, and we've talked a little bit in the past about the new strategic plan, the direction of the school system over the long term. So tell me a little bit about that plan and what the thoughts, what the plan is going to look like for the public, and just what the public, what our residents and maybe even businesses can do to be a part of that.
Sure. We want to, we realized and realized for quite a while, school-wide, citywide, that we're growing. And so when we're growing at that rate, especially in a school, we need to be planning 5 to 10 years out and have a strategic plan for what we're going to do and how we're going to keep up technology-wise, academic-wise, building-wise, all those pieces that come with running a school. And so we're partnering with the OSSBA and K-20 Center, and we are going to go through a process this year, long-term strategic planning. And the first part of that is we're rolling out a community survey, and we're asking for input from anybody in the community. It's sitting out on our website right now. We'll do a couple pushes through October. And then in October, we'll have community forums where we'll They'll be up, we'll be there, and then we'll invite the community up to kind of talk about this process. And so the first 3 months, we're just going to be gathering tons of data. We're going to be gathering demographic data, we're going to be gathering academic data, we're going to be gathering building data, all this together, and then bring this shareholder committee together in December to kind of start piecing together what that long-term plan looks like and what that strategic plan looks like. And then, you know, 3 years down the road, when we start making big decisions that affect the school, we can refer back to that plan and say, this is what our community said they want our school to look like. This is what our community, this is the preference. So it's not just Curtis Layton making his call or the board. It's the community that's got input and all that. And so what we're asking the community to do right now is just tell us what they think.
Right.
You know, that's really all we're asking for right now is tell us what you think. We truly believe that it's got to be a partnership.
Absolutely.
And so that's the first process right now, is just kind of gathering that information from the community. And we'll do several pushes to get people opportunities to do that. We'll do the same thing with our teachers. We'll do the same thing with our students. And so they're the easy ones to get to. We can get to those guys anytime. So.
Yeah. That's good. We'll put if it's all right, we'll put a link out to the survey as part of this video and in the social media links that we share it. Maybe we can help reach that way. But I know from a city standpoint, it is important to us for a strong and healthy school system.
You bet.
You know, we cannot grow as a city and not be healthy as a city if our school system isn't healthy and growing. So we're excited to see that process moving forward, see what that looks like and how it moves there. And so just glad you guys are moving through that process. I'm excited.
We're excited about it, yep.
Yeah. So any other thoughts or any other things that we really haven't had a chance yet to touch on today that you want to share to the public, whether they're parents of children or maybe those that aren't involved with the school quite as much either?
Right. Well, the only thing I could really say is that when I say we have an open door policy, it really means I have an open door policy. If I always just encourage people, if there's a question or there's a concern, come talk to us about it. At the end of the day, we may not agree,
right,
but at least you'll understand the reason why. Sometimes it's real easy to say something if you're not as informed versus coming up and just asking the question and saying, hey, why are we doing this? What's the purpose behind it? And I'm a big believer in explaining why a decision is made. And again, like I said, at the end of the day, we'll have to make the best decision for our kids and school. But it doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to disagree. It's okay to have differing opinions, but it's just that if we can have that conversation, and at least we kind of know where each other are. So I encourage people to ask the question. My email's out there on the webpage. My phone and my office is open. So I'd be glad to talk to anybody.
Absolutely, we appreciate it. We're gonna we'll make sure we get a link out to all of that information. But as I said, it's excited to be able to sit down and visit with you here, kind of in this brand new video series for us. Thank you for becoming a part of that for us and taking on this first step in this brand new series. As we said, from a city standpoint, from the council and from my leadership team, we believe strongly that schools have to be an important part of our community and be growing and healthy in order for us to be growing and healthy and strong as a city. And so excited for all the things you have coming, excited for you and the position that you're in here and the work that you're doing in this city and in this school district. And so just thank you.
Well, thank you for having me up. I appreciate the fact that we're first up. So.
That's right. Well, Glenpool, we hope you enjoyed this video series. Keep back every month. We're going to be putting these out right around the end of each month. We'll have a brand new series where we're talking to somebody different here in the community. Sometimes it'll be city employees. Sometimes it may be a business. Sometimes it's a nonprofit. But we're just excited to be able to get some more information out to you. And so we will see you next time for Conversations with the City.